I like it. Intimidation.
Like,
so congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
Stars to the
That was an
game.
awesome final.
Were y'all watching?
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
Fort
It was
Worth.
a good final.
Yeah, it was really cool. What did you think of going into that last match?
I knew we'd already split top 4,
okay,
so
cool.
I knew it was a fun match.
Yeah, it seemed like you guys were pretty at ease.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I definitely wanted the buys for the Invitational.
Yeah. also the trophy.
Which yeah, trophy. Okay.
Trophy's pretty sweet too.
Will we be at the Invitational?
Yes.
Baltimore?
Probably.
Oh, great.
Yeah, should be there.
Definitely
Great.
see you there.
Yeah, so that should be fun.
So everyone on Twitter loved your deck list. They thought green white ramp was dead.
Oh no.
Not at all.
I've been tweaking it for the past month. I play on Magic League for
Oh, yeah?
testing, and it's got some weird one-ofs in there, and I think it's finally about polished.
Yeah, it seems like all the numbers are pretty carefully chosen.
Yeah.
Like you don't get to one Red Sun Zenith by accident,
No.
right? Like
There were a lot of times I could have. I'm like, oh, I wish I drew the Red Sun Zenith, but
Right,
it didn't.
right.
But sometimes I was playing blue-black control. He throws down a Grave Titan, taps out for it. He's at 5 life, I think.
what's the worst a green white
Oh,
deck could do?
Red Sun.
Kill you. That's awesome.
So, a few questions about your deck. Why 3 Primeval Titans?
So originally I had 4 and 3 Green Suns, and I found out that in my opening hand, Primeval Titan was clogging me. They're good, but it's a 6-drop.
Right.
And a couple of my buddies play green white ramp, and they go the strategy. You play a Primeval Titan as fast as you can. You get 4 Titans, you get your 4 artifacts, the Sphere of the Suns,
Right.
and you ramp and try turn 4 Titan. I didn't feel like that build was consistent enough. I feel like Sphere of the Suns can get blown out really easily. I'd much rather work my way up the curve and play Titans when I get them. So Green Sun is a much better. I can grab Strangle Roots to bot Planeswalkers or put pressure on control decks.
Right.
The main thing is I'll grab Emissaries to ramp, which is phenomenal to be able to grab a ramp
With a
creature
green sun.
with a Green Sun.
And not have it be as fragile as the birds too.
And then there's so much aggro in the field right now. Humans, zombies, Green Sunning for an Emissary. I save 3-4 life and get to ramp.
And ramp,
It's, in that case, it's strictly better than ramp and growth.
And with all the aggro, why not put 1 Huntmaster in the deck?
I don't like Huntmaster. I really don't. I play 4 days, and Huntmaster has 0 day resistance. He gains 2 life, which I don't care about. He shoots things for 2, which doesn't really kill anything that I care about. You have to kind of skip turns to flip him or do some turn manipulation. I like tapping out and playing as much as I can.
Threat.
Threat. He's a 4-drop. I'd rather play a Solemn. Solemn gets me a land and a card and a chump block. What other 4-drops do I have in there? Day.
Green Sun for 3.
No, there's nothing.
Run.
I experimented with the Slime for a little bit as a 3-drop. And he was fun. He had day resistance, which I liked. And against
The
some
indestructible.
Decks, the indestructible.
Yeah.
That guy's cool.
And some decks, against black-white tokens, he just runs the field.
Yeah.
Especially
Tragic
with
slip,
Castigan and
though.
Given Trample. They have to get it right away.
Yeah.
And it happens, you know.
But again, it's just a 3-drop.
It's just a
so
3-drop.
no
Who
big
cares?
deal.
You use your Tragic Slip on him and not my Titan.
Someone else asked, why no Oblivion Ring?
That's a good question. Originally, I had no main deck Ruin and Destruction. The Beast Within, I actually added to this tournament
Okay.
as a one-of. I feel like the whole field is creature-based right now, and 4 days is just better.
Right.
O-Ring, you can get blown out when they O-Ring your O-Ring. They get their thing back. They get their Enter the Battlefield triggers. They get, whatever else they want. I have Keswick, so Planeswalkers are not a big deal. I can trample into them and kill Planeswalkers, as we saw in the finals.
I mean, it seemed pretty obvious. You didn't really miss it.
Yeah, I didn't really. There's no real permanence that I have trouble with. The Beast Within, the only match I lost from all 10 rounds was Pablo. We wanted to play round 10. The second turn sword on Bird Equip is really brutal against me.
Yeah, I can see that.
And one of the games, not against him, another red-green aggro, I did have the Beast Within, and it made all the difference.
Nice.
So Beast Within can get there.
So I take it you were very happy with your deck.
I am glad that It didn't just pawn out. It's done a lot of testing, a lot of tweaking. But just like any deck, there's a lot of variance in Magic, and it can peter out.
And you can see that, you obviously put a lot of work in this. There's a lot of numbers that, there's sometimes you see numbers, it's either completely random or it's been very well thought out. Like the one Mimic Vat is something that it's either really well thought out or you're just like, this card seems good.
No, the Mimic Vat is amazing.
I was wondering at times, like, wow, why doesn't he have more main? Like,
well, when you have more than one Mimic Vat, it gets clogged up. And it's just
You never want to draw two of that card.
You never.
And you have the second one in the sideboard, of course.
Yeah,
for
those matches that
blue-black control.
Yeah.
It's so good.
They can't kill an artifact.
No. And it's, Grave Titan, like one of my matches, I think before, Grave Titans, I have a Mimic Vat out. Day. Next turn, I Grave Titan, swing, and have 4 zombie tokens.
Zombie army.
That seems pretty good.
It was nice.
Yeah.
And even main deck against other decks that don't have creatures I want, like aggro, weenie, or tokens.
Right.
I'll get my own things back. I've shot my acidic slime with a Garruk before to put it into the Mimic Vat.
3 mana kill away every turn.
Every turn.
That's awesome.
That's going to lock a lot of decks out.
The one of Karn's really good.
Yeah.
So I felt like I had 2 main ways of dealing with permanents, this Karn and acidic slime. And I felt like 2 wasn't quite enough. I wanted the third, the Beast Within, to get there.
So what are your, what was your bad matchup? Do you have anything that you just go, you know what, if I had to play that all day, I would just not play this deck?
So actually, the blue-white control and Esper control is probably a 40-60 matchup for me. But nobody's playing it. All the control is blue-black.
Right.
All the blue-white got knocked into the losing bracket game 1 and 2 just from zombies and aggro that's out there. Delver's a coin flip most of the time, which is fine. Delver's a coin flip for most decks.
Exactly. It's really tough to beat Delver.
They go turn 1 Delver, flip it. That's pretty rough. And if they don't, we saw matches where, if the player with Delver, if they just flipped Delver on 1 or Delver on 2, not even close, and they flipped it on 4 instead. And
that's the other reason I feel like this green white has a much better Delver matchup than regular Kasig. Threats. Well, Huntmaster's pretty good against Delver, but threats up the chain. My clock is normally just as fast as theirs, even without the big 6 drops.
Right.
So they have to use all their vapor snags on my little dudes.
Mana leaks on the
mana leaks on the little dudes, and then
yeah.
by the time I drop a Titan or a Karn, they're out of control.
They can't just save that vapor snag for your Primeval Titans.
Yeah.
And,
no, they have to use it, or their clock won't be as fast as mine.
Yeah, this is it's a great deck, and it's refreshing to see a non-blue deck.
Right, exactly. A non-blue finals. It was awesome.
That's true.
Yeah.
I tried when Dark Ascension came out. I ran through the gauntlet of every net deck. I don't like any of these. They all have really brutal, gross matchups.
Right.
Except Delver. But I didn't enjoy playing Delver.
It's not a fun deck to play.
No, it's a good deck, don't get me wrong, but it's all tempo. If they get board position, you can just get blown out.
There's some amount of randomness with that Delver
There's
flip.
a lot of randomness. I needed to play a really consistent deck. My luck with is horrible. my Delvers would never flip.
You have to be good at that.
Yeah,
to play
never.
Delver,
I was just like, all right, I don't understand why people like this deck.
Yeah.
But people that have good luck, so this deck is really consistent, which is why I like it.
One last question for you. If you had to change anything about the deck, if you're going to play in a Star City Open next week, what would you change about it?
Actually nothing.
Nothing?
I've tested this deck enough that by the time I got to the Open, it was as tweaked as I wanted it.
The perfect 75.
I take it back, the sideboard, I have 3 surgical extractions that I never used once.
Okay.
The thing is, surgical extraction you almost need. Because some decks will just blow you out frights, or
just auto lose.
You just auto lose. Yeah. It's pretty good against control, but I didn't even bring it in against blue-black control because they don't have.
And you have Mimic Vat for that same.
I have Mimic Vat.
It's very similar thing, except that instead of circling their Grave Titans, you just get their Grave Titans.
And same thing like zombies, people bring in surgical, but I have 4 timelies, which is amazing. And then the Mimic Vats. So I don't feel like I need to worry about their undying creatures.
Right.
As much. So I might take out the surgicals, or maybe go down to 2. But again, I almost feel like it's necessary against some decks, even if just because I didn't play those decks.
Right, doesn't mean they're not out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Who knows? Next week it could be freaks everywhere.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna go, why did I take out those surgicals?
Yeah. It's one of the cards you almost need, but I will probably experiment with those 3 slots.
Well, we're going to let you get to Legacy. It looks like
Yeah,
the
it should
parents
be
are just
fun.
going up. Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Exactly.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
You all have a good day.
You too. Don't forget this.
Oh yeah, it's really important.
Intimidation.
Get some dice, just put them in there, and just I don't know what you're playing, but playing Affinity, you're just like.
I have this many.